Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the chilling world of death row. Just picture it, cold, stark cells, the ever-present weight of their crimes and the looming execution date. These are the stories of three inmates whose crimes and fates have left a lasting impact. Stories that are both fascinating and deeply unsettling. So grab your coffee, find a comfy spot, and let's get into it. Our first case takes us deep into the unsettling world of John Wayne Gacy, better known as the Killer Clown. Can you imagine? A man who used the guise of a clown, a symbol of joy and laughter, to commit such horrific acts. Gacy's double life was the stuff of nightmares. By day he was a seemingly normal contractor, but by night he lured young men and boys to his home, where he tortured, murdered, and buried them in a crawl space beneath his house. The number of victims is staggering, a total of 33 young men, their lives tragically cut short. Gacy's trial was a media spectacle, with the world watching in horror as the full extent of his crimes was revealed. He was convicted on all 33 counts of murder and sentenced to death. Can you imagine the weight of those guilty verdicts? The knowledge that your life as you knew it was over? On death row, Gacy maintained his innocence, even painting portraits of himself as Pogo the Clown. Can you imagine the chilling irony? The man who used a clown persona to gain the trust of his victims continued to cling to that image even as he faced his own mortality. Despite numerous appeals, Gacy's death sentence was carried out by lethal injection in 1994. His case remains one of the most disturbing examples of how a seemingly ordinary person can harbor such darkness within. Our next case takes us on a journey through the turbulent life of Aileen Wuornos, a woman who went from a troubled past to becoming one of America's most infamous female serial killers. Wuornos's life was a story of hardship and abuse, a cycle of neglect and violence that started in her childhood and followed her into adulthood. She turned to sex work to survive, living on the fringes of society, her existence a constant struggle. It was during this time that Wuornos's crimes began. Between 1989 and 1990, she shot and killed 7 men along Florida's highways. Her motive, she claimed, was self-defense, alleging that the men had either raped or attempted to rape her. The trial of Aileen Wuornos was a media frenzy, with some portraying her as a cold-blooded killer, while others saw her as a victim herself, driven to extreme measures by the horrors she had endured. Despite her claims of self-defense, Wuornos was convicted of 6 of the 7 murders and sentenced to death. On death row, she became a controversial figure, with some advocating for clemency, citing her troubled past and mental state. Her case raised complex questions about victimhood, trauma, and the justice system. In 2002, after years of legal battles and appeals, Aileen Wuornos was executed by lethal injection. Her case continues to be debated, a stark reminder of the complexities of human nature and the lasting impact of trauma. Chapter 3. Ted Bundy, the All-American Nightmare. Our final case delves into the chilling story of Ted Bundy, a name synonymous with charm, manipulation, and a level of depravity that shocked the nation. Bundy was a true enigma, a handsome and charismatic law student who used his charm to lure his victims, often young women who resembled his first love. His crimes, which spanned across multiple states, were marked by a brutality that was both shocking and perplexing. Bundy's modus operandi often involved feigning injury or impersonating authority figures to gain the trust of his victims. He would then overpower them, taking them to secluded locations where he would torture, rape, and murder them. The sheer horror of his crimes gripped the nation, with Bundy becoming the subject of countless news reports and true crime documentaries. Despite his attempts to evade capture, Bundy was eventually apprehended and put on trial. His trial, much like his crimes, became a media sensation, with people across the country captivated by the case. Bundy, known for his intelligence and cunning, even chose to represent himself in court, further adding to the intrigue surrounding his case. Despite his attempts to maintain his innocence, the evidence against Bundy was overwhelming. He was found guilty on multiple counts of murder and sentenced to death. On death row, Bundy's manipulative nature persisted. He confessed to additional murders, providing details that only the killer would know, in what some believe was an attempt to delay his execution. However, his attempts to bargain for more time were unsuccessful. In 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in Florida's electric chair, bringing an end to the reign of terror of one of America's most notorious serial killers. His case continues to fascinate and horrify, a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath a charming facade. These stories remind us of the dark side of humanity and the consequences of heinous crimes. Each case, unique in its own way, reveals the complexities of the human psyche and the devastating impact of evil in our world. It's chilling, isn't it? To think that these individuals walked among us, their true natures hidden beneath a veneer of normalcy. But it's important to remember these stories, to learn from them, and to strive for a world where such horrors are a thing of the past. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories.